Often I'm talking about the importance of destruction in our lives and how we should celebrate it. And, that often turns people off as well when I start to say, yay, everything's falling apart, woo woo. And really, again, I know that this is difficult. See, but the process of transformation is, if we're leveling up, we've got to say goodbye to that old self, to the old layers, to the pieces of us that maybe used to fit, but won't fit where we're going. We've got to learn how to destroy them because we don't want to keep them whole and separate from us. We literally want to destroy them so the energy can be released and brought into us. We can pull it in and then we can send it forward. Right? So there's this part of it that wants to, in society, hold on to all these old pieces of us, all these old stories, these old traumas, and retell them over and over again. And so what we're doing is we're dragging this baggage along. We're trying to move forward, but we're pulling the past with us instead of exploding the past, realizing that it doesn't even exist until we give it life, that it can just disappear completely because all that ever matters is this moment. And when we can liberate ourselves from that what we're carrying or dragging, all of that releases a profound amount of energy that now we can take into our bodies today in this moment and move forward into what it is that we want to create. The way I've been thinking about it with this fire horse energy is, if you think about a horse on fire, right, running at full speed, and the air is only feeding the fire, and so it runs faster, and we could see this thing maybe running with no direction, moving around, just going, even maybe in circles. It's doing nothing. It just looks like it's doing a lot, right, because it's moving at full speed. Well, what if we could harness that thing and we could ride it and we could control it and direct it? Imagine how much power might be in that, the energy, the fuel that is pushing this horse forward. Well, that's where we are right now. We're in this place where we need to be able to harness and direct our horse into the future, which means we cannot be distracted by all the stuff that we're dragging with us from the past. So my encouragement for you right now is to take a moment to integrate all those past selves for you. I love to do almost like a ceremony that is ritualistic, in as if you were doing something like a funeral for all the past iterations of you. Sometimes I like to just close my eyes and imagine all the iterations of me. However many of them. I always say I've lived a million lifetimes in this lifetime. So I take all of those pieces of me and I imagine them all around me. The characters, like the little 1-year-old me, that was just free and living from her heart, right? And just light. It had no judgments, had no expectations, just open. And then the 3-year-old me that was starting to get taught the ways of the world and what was expected of me if I was to earn love, right? The ways that I needed to dim my light to show up for others and allow them to be happy, and then to place my happiness, right, at a lower state. So again, making sure that everybody else was happy, I realized how much that would impact my well-being. And then maybe the 5-year-old me who had completely dimmed her light. And now she's already showing up in the program of society, right? And then we go through all these layers. Now what it was to be the teenage me, and I see her. And I see her for her beauty. I see her for her power. I see the way that she maneuvered through that world when it was difficult, and I honor her. I honor her. And then I go to the next one and I give them all honor. I see them all as having these amazing, beautiful gifts, and then they all have their weaknesses as well, the things they had to overcome so that they can move forward onto the next version. And I honor each of them. I'll close my eyes as if I'm doing some sort of, like I said, ceremony for them and honor. And then I imagine them all joining back with me. As I release them, it's like the destruction of them, and all of their power and their energy comes into me. So all of their strengths are here in me. I can feel the parts of them that were powerful, maybe silenced, the parts of them that didn't get to show up power. Now they get to come through me in this moment, integrated and whole. And I take this now integrated version of me and I get on that horse and I start directing it. Where am I going? Where am I going? And I know I have the energy of the universe behind me. This is my message for you today. What if this could be something that you take into your day? Just this quick little meditation where you really sit with the versions of you and you honor them. So many times I'm sitting with my clients and I'm hearing how, those parts of them that made mistakes, that were terrible, that harmed others, that did these bad things. And, so then we've got to just shove them, put them in the closet somewhere, right? Instead of honoring them, instead of seeing, no, they were just going through life in the best way they knew how, with all the tools that they had. They weren't intentionally set out to, I'm going to harm others. It's just them being them might have rippled into the world. And again, what they gave to those others was gifts. See, because every single one of those pieces of you that we talked about, every version of you is an ingredient to the recipe that created you. Every one of them lives in your cells in some way, in your organs, in your speech, in your thoughts, and your memories. They all live there. And they were all important. If you take one of those parts of you away, one of those major ingredients, then you change. Then you are not you anymore. And we've got to honor us as we're showing up now, as beautiful and perfect and whole and complete. So that means we have to invite all of those pieces in and see them in their beauty and their glory, raise them up, elevate them. Yeah, that is my message for you today. Know that this is how I see you. I just love every single part of you. There is no story that you could tell me that would change that. There's no version of you that I would not see with pure unconditional love. And I want that for you. I want you to see that every part of you, every version of you was perfect. You are not broken. You are amazing. I love you so much. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day riding that horse. Sit down and imagine, where are you going? You don't have to know exactly how the horse is going to get there, but I do want you to know your destination. Like, sit it down. And I want you to imagine yourself as a powerful rider. Oh man, I move and I sway as the horse moves. I'm like one with it. I'm not fighting it. I'm not holding back. I'm on it. I'm trusting in full faith. I'm riding this horse even as it goes at 100 miles an hour, because I already told it which direction it's going, where we're going to end up. And I know if I just get on and I ride that wave, I'm going to land right where I set my intention for. And it's up to me to enjoy the ride. I often say to people, you and I could get in a car and we could go from here to, say, Florida. And we're in the car and I could have the best time ever. I mean, I could be like, oh my God, everything is great. Look at that bird. I love this. I can't believe, I love the sound of the engine. I love the songs that are playing. Everything is perfect. The temperature's great. And you could be over there irritated by everything, frustrated. It could be the worst drive of your life. We're both in the same car, going to the same place. We're all going to end up there. We're both going to end up there because we decided that's where we're going. But one of us had a beautiful ride and the other had a miserable one. And see, that is a choice. We get to, that's the part of the divine. We have the divine will, we have that individual will. That's your choice. You can enjoy it or not. But here's the thing, you do have somewhere that you are determined by divinity that you're going to land. You have your divine destination. It's already been set in place. You can fight it, you can be miserable on the ride, or you can just enjoy the ride. And that is my message for today. Like, learn how to enjoy the ride. Let's release the baggage. We'll do that by integrating the aspects of all of those pieces of you. We'll take along just the parts that we want, right? And we'll honor the rest, but release it. And then we take this big old, pack that we've now accumulated of all of our superpowers, right? All the things that we learned through each version of us that we took, and now we've added into this version of us as we sit here now, right? I have that little me that was light and loving and kind and open and could just absorb everything and see the world through big eyes. I have her. She's now here. Right? But I don't carry with me now the part of her that maybe didn't feel like enough, that was suffering, that was it. We're going to let that part of her rest, right? Because that wasn't even part of her. That was what was inflicted on her. And so maybe it was necessary for her to carry it to get through that version or through that episode of her life, but it's not here necessary. So I've got to look at each part of me and see, what am I taking with me from that? Maybe part of me was courageous and strong, and maybe she showed up and didn't think twice before she took action. Maybe she was intuitive or loving. Right? There was different versions of me that played different roles, different characters. As the mother, I was caretaking. I love that about me, right? But maybe I didn't caretake me enough. And so that's the superpower I want to bring with me. What if all of that caretaking was directed towards me and I filled me up before I gave out? Yeah, I know I keep saying I'm finishing this message. This time it's for real. So I love you again, and I hope you make it an amazing day. I'll see you soon.